in the cabbage.
Welcome to In the Cabbage. This is crazy.
This is pretty bananas right now that we're actually doing this.
I'm Tommy Swain, Andrew Witt. Please subscribe, please listen, please download, like. And just a reminder, keep swinging. Welcome back to In the Cabbage. It's your boy Tommy Swain. To my right or your left, Andrew Witt.
What up, y'all?
What is up, buddy? We are back for another episode. We're going to jump right into sports talk here because we're watching the Laker game, the Emirates Cup, playing the Utah Jazz right now. We're watching Dalton Connect.
We love a little distraction to really try to bring out the best of us, and we can persevere here to bring you guys an electric pod.
I mean, that's what we do here. We fight through most of our distractions.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're doing this pro bono. We're going to enjoy our time here and enjoy hanging out with you guys just as much as you enjoy hearing us talk about sports.
There you go.
So, you know, watching Dalton Connect, he's like 9 for 11 right now, ties the NBA rookie record for threes at this moment.
Wow, you did a really nice job looking up some, doing a little research, getting a couple stats.
Yeah,
giving some good juice for the audience.
I'm really
out there.
prepared right now. We're just gonna jump into like Laker basketball. They look great right now. Winning record, I think they're gonna be probably 10-4, 10-5 after this game.
Boys are humming.
Boys started out hot, then had a couple bad losses, but have since been like on fire a bit and just have figured it out and have been able to play like team ball. Like a lot of good ball rotations, a lot of driving kicks I've been seeing a lot more than what it has been over the past years. It feels like our offense in the past years was like high screen roll.
So
D-Lo
stagnant.
with AD. LeBron screen roll.
So stagnant, and then we're just trying to like, exploit matchups the whole time, and like that's great. But I mean, sometimes if that's not working and like stuff is just very stagnant, then I love a good motion offense, drive, cut, kick, move it around, and then you can always default to that, right?
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, we have LeBron, we have AD, we have Austin Reeves, who's like an incredible one-on-one player at this moment, which is funny to say. Because like it is true, Austin Reeves can kind of get a shot off pretty much whenever he like feels like it. He doesn't have a huge issue with that. But I agree, like the top teams in the NBA who are winning, Golden State,
the Celtics,
and then there's another team, and then the Nuggets.
Nuggets
have all won championships recently playing like team ball. Maybe the Nuggets are kind of an exception because Jokic is just such a dominant force.
Yeah. But
still, I mean, they had that three-way, triangle going with Aaron Gordon down low and the lob and Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
They had a little thing going there for a hot sec, and they still do. I mean, they're still a good team, but I think to win the NBA now, you have to have a complete roster and superstars to fall back on when things aren't going well.
And you got to have the three-point shot.
You gotta be able to make a bucket efficiently.
That's a non-negotiable. Mm-hmm.
And just like JJ's fire for the team, I don't love some of the antics, but I think he'll learn that as time will go on. Like the player,
he's figuring it out.
The player head shake when D-Lo makes a bad shot or a pass and is showing frustration. Like, I don't love that.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen much of that before.
It's like when D-Lo was starting, he like didn't get back on D, took a bad three, and got immediately sat down. But like on the sideline, he like kind of like threw his chair, not on the floor. I don't know how he picked it up before he sat on it really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then he like apparently has snapped a clipboard already.
Okay, gotta love the fire.
Gotta love the fire.
That's great. I hear you though. I feel like it
will turn on you though in the NBA.
Yeah, I feel like it's a fine line
for sure
of like fire and then also being able to like bump and boost your team a little bit, right? Like you don't want to like visibly show the entire world because you are on a stage effectively. There's a ton of cameras. There's a bunch of eyes. There's a bunch of opinions all over the place. And when you get the negative buzz, of maybe a player catching some heat and JJ Redick like reacting negatively to certain situations. I feel like that doesn't bode well for like one, the franchise, but also two, like just a player's mental. And it's like, dude, this guy's putting me on blast and I'm trying to like win us games. Like,
right.
I get it. Like, you know, that was not like the smartest move of me, but like, don't show the entire world I like fucked up. Right.
Yeah. That's like the issue with totally like in the NBA too. It's not like these are college kids who are like starving for time and don't know what they're doing. That they're professional athletes is like what they do. So you'll lose a locker room, in my opinion, pretty fast if you start acting that way. I feel like that's, you know, how it is in general with professional coaching. But other than that, I mean, I love his fire, love his attitude he's bringing to the court in this team. The team looks much more cohesive, having fun. Listen, there's been a couple out of balance plays he's ran that have worked great. And just really excited for like where we can go possibly. And he has an eye for talent, clearly. So I don't feel like the Lakers are going to just trade away picks and things for what LeBron wants, especially when he's been vocal about not knowing how much years he has left, which I find a little annoying. If I can say like one criticism about LeBron, I don't like being a LeBron hater by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But before the season start, he was excited to get back to basketball because he said after the Olympics, he felt like he had a lot more tread on the tires than he thought. 4 or 5 games into the season, he was like, I don't know how much more years I have.
Right. It's like, dude, stay in your lane, pick one or the other, or just don't talk about it.
Just don't talk about it.
Right.
Like, because then you say that. What happens is you go, oh my God, LeBron's going to be back fully this year. He's going to be enjoying his new team, looking good. A couple losses in a row. He looks like he's miserable. Then he says he isn't, you know.
And I get it, right? He's been in the league. This is now his, 22nd year. It's just like, okay, like that's your entire life. Like, and it's not like we're playing 30-game seasons. We're playing potentially like 90 to 100 games, you know, if the season goes well. It's a lot of games, man. Like, I get it. But we don't need it. You don't need it, I guess.
You're just putting eyes on you when you say, and then LeBron probably doesn't care. And that's totally fine and valid. Like, I get that. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you're a Laker. I want to see you do well. I want you to be out there and enjoying yourself. So, like, just, you know, saying things like that. AD looks like maybe the best player in the league right now.
He's a monster, dude. Monster.
And just playing totally, you know, hurt. I mean, he's been poked in the eye a countless amount of times. But that seems to happen to him every season. I see him with some sort of like eye poke almost every like 4 or 5 games.
Always. And he never wants to put on any goggles or anything. He's just like, F it. I'm just going to roll out there and just drop 30 on you and grab 14 boards.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, put some. I mean, why are you always getting poked in the eye? His eyes are a little bulgy, though.
They are a little bit.
So, I mean, I get that, but like, where are the glasses? You look pretty swaggy in glasses, I think.
I'm sure, yeah.
I don't think it would look bad on them.
No,
but
I don't think so.
Lakers are rolling. Another team.
And Dalton Connect is just looking like an absolute stud.
Yeah, I love that he lost his shot. So, like, came in first, like, 4 or 5 games, totally fine. You got to feel him out. Then he went ice cold for the next 3. Couldn't find a shot at all.
Yeah.
JJ still playing him, which I appreciate. You know, got to get the rookie some minutes. In order, you know, he's a first-round draft pick. He's gonna have such a long leash, which I've been figuring out from more pro podcasts, is that these first-rounders get a crazy amount of leash, you know, 2-3 years to kind of figure it out.
Which is nice, right? Like, it's a big step up to the next level, mentally, physically, and skill. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you want to have a guy pan out, you can't just abandon ship right out of the gates, just like we're talking about with like all the football quarterbacks that come out of college. It's a big jump. Like, give him some leash. Let him make mistakes and not react so negatively to it, where he's able to like bounce back. And there's a reason why, especially if you're getting picked in the top 10 and it's a good draft class in the NBA. Like, he's not randomly falling in the top 10. He's got a lot of skills. He's got potential. He's got size. He's got a shot, whatever it may be. Let him kind of do his thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta play him.
Who's been saying it on the podcast?
It's just like, man, my God, I'm blanking out here. JJ a while back talked about like how rookies need time and space in order to develop. Like the NBA is such a different game than what you're taught in college. College is all team ball.
Yeah.
Come to the NBA, it's a lot of ISO work and pick and roll and certain off screens and stuff like that. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to. And then also you might have to play a completely different role on each new team you're on. Like Dalton is very much right now a spot up shooter, which I assume from what I watched in his, college highlights, he was a self-creator most of the time. He didn't have a lot of like pop, catching pops and stuff like that. And I would love to see him get a little bit more active in an AR style of basketball. Because I feel like that's where he will actually really thrive as a player, because he is so big and strong and like, tall.
Yeah.
That he can get his shot off a lot more efficiently. And then that like pop and shoot technique will be there for him later. But just hearing Julian talk about podcasts about first rounders and how long people can stay, in football terms. But, I was just thinking about coaching as well throughout just, hearing the Chargers talk about our new coach, Harbaugh, and how wherever he goes, winning kind of seems to happen.
Yeah.
And there's always
he's turned like 4 programs around at this point, right? I was watching the
Niners?
Chargers. Yeah, I was watching the Chargers game, and he was like, went here, losing record in a season, winning. Went here, losing record in a season, winning.
Michigan was probably the biggest one.
To win a natty champ.
Yeah, when you're not you were a Big Ten team at the time.
Unranked. I think Michigan was like unranked, like just over 500 as a program as far as like win percentage over the last like couple
before
seasons.
He started getting rolling, which college programs take a lot longer to turn around, I feel like, because you got to set a culture, you got to get right draft classes.
Yeah.
You got to have like, it's just pros, you're getting elite athletes, and it's not hard to like have pros buy in when you're paying them that much money, but like college kids, it's a little bit more tough. JJ comes in the Lakers. Darvin Ham had a winning season last year. We made the playoffs, yada, yada, yada. But doesn't it look different than it did last year?
Yeah, the energy, the enthusiasm, you could just tell on the court, off the court, people reacting on the bench. It just seems more cohesive, and it seems like there was a culture. And it's something that we were talking about with the Chargers as well. And I mean, it just goes to show, like, when you lose a locker room, I mean, it's really tough, and you can see it on the football field. Maybe you can see it on the basketball field, I guess, but for me, football is just so evident and so clear when you just don't have the locker room, because, I mean, half the game in the NFL is just like physicality and wanting to like stick your nose in an uncomfortable situation, and stick someone, fly to the football, make the extra effort plays.
Right. It just seems like with a good, like people say, do you really need that good of a coach in the NBA? Well, it's like, yeah, maybe you don't, because Darvin Ham isn't technically a great coach. But to get to that level where you want to win consistently and win championships, there's always a central point in that, and that's the coach.
Yeah.
It's might not be so much that he's an X's and O's guy. Much more, I feel like football coaching in all levels matters a lot more than maybe basketball coaching does, just because at the end of the day, like, basketball is such a like more free-flowing sport than football. Just from the nature of it, there's no like.
Sure, there's less scheming. There certainly are scheming, but it's not all different crazy
7
types
days
of.
You have.
Yeah.
This is the team. We already have a playbook prior to that. So I just was like wondering like how much coaching really does matter, and I think I've changed my opinion on it. Like, coaching does matter a significant amount more than maybe I led on to believe. Because there was times where I'm like, yeah, like having a good coach is great, but like you don't need an elite coach.
Yeah.
You don't need a Popovich or a Phil every time you have someone out there, but maybe you do.
Yeah,
maybe you need some coach to bring something like that for you in the NBA.
all successful coaches have always, in my eyes, had one thing, and that is the respect of all the players and the staff.
Yeah, it's like they come in and it's like they're...
You need to have that respect. You got to earn the respect. Sometimes it's easier to gain for certain people. For example, Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
Because he's gone to so many places and, you know, obviously have had a lot of success. But in this instance, JJ Redick hasn't had that. He's a very successful player. Obviously, first time being a head coach, but he's obviously has
his son's like basketball team.
Yeah. Yeah,
he has his first time being a coach.
Yeah, and he just steps into a head coaching position. And a lot of it is networking and calling people and talking about certain schemes and what to do with this situation. It helps that he was an elite player for so long, but it's so different when you're on the other side of it, on the coaching side. But yeah, it's just cool to see that he's able to kind of figure that out, but also earn that respect.
Right.
Because he's got such a brilliant basketball mind. And I don't know. I just feel like that's a very, very conclusive, linear thing that always has to happen with a lot of successful coaches.
Yeah, you just got to have that person who can bring the boys together, have a very clear message of what you're trying to convey. The play needs to be drawn up correctly, and then you need to have a pulse. You have to have a very high social intelligence. You got to be able to like walk into a locker room, be able to feel what's going on, have a pulse on what your team wants or needs in order to succeed. You can't just go in there like a Darvin Ham and just throw out some BS like Darvin's taking it on this podcast. But like, all right, boys, we got blah, blah, blah. Try hard and, push the effort, push. Like, it's like, okay, that's not what we need to hear right now. We need like, hey, we're not closing out on the three. Once you close out, take off. They're not getting back on. Get a board, outlet. Let's start running. Or something along those lines where you're looking to give some effort to the team. But football in general, I feel like just in hearing about how crazy, the more getting into it, how crazy the scheming is for NFL, like even having past notebooks and past like videos and people just full 24/7 breaking down individual plays and just kind of thinking about it on that level because I've just gotten so much more into football this year probably than I ever have.
Yeah.
It's also cool because football is very much like any given Sunday, which I didn't really believe before. But when you scheme for a team for a week, it is any given Sunday because maybe that team comes in with a better scheme. They want it more that day. They've been thinking about it all week. And your team, like the Chiefs, have been undefeated and are tired or don't want to show the whole playbook or yada, yada, yada. There could be 1,000 reasons why, But moving on from that, rolling right into the Chargers. The boys are flying around.
We're balling right now.
Defense looks stellar.
Dude, we got the best defense in the league.
I know.
Lowest points per game. Wild. We hired the defensive coordinator from Michigan, and we bring in John Harbaugh and give a big old middle finger to Brandon Staley.
Where's Brandon Staley at right now?
I have no idea. I don't really care. Not stinking up the Chargers. That's for damn sure.
Tough, man.
Bad. And he was a defensive-minded head coach, which is brutal. And we had like the worst defense. And I don't know all the ins and outs because there's a lot of players. But I feel like for the most part, we are pretty much the same team on defense. We've added a couple corners. We added like a linebacker.
But the core pieces were there.
Yes, exactly. The core
Derwin James is still there, who I think right now, is he play safety?
Yeah.
Probably one of the best safeties in the league right now.
For sure. Dude's an
Which
animal.
we saw last year when he was lighting people up.
Dude's all over the place.
And he was, I guess, from some of the stuff I was listening to, they're having him move a lot more in the defense. He's not just staying back. He's moving to like...
Yeah, he's like blitzing.
Yeah. He's doing a lot. He's a lot more active in the defensive scheme, which is great because the man loves to hit. He's fast and he's mean.
I would give it like a similarity to maybe like a Jalen Ramsey almost.
Yeah.
when he was on the Rams and like scheming a whole bunch and blitzing and then taking like the best guy potentially. I don't know if Derwin James has that, but similar, right? Where he's moving around a whole bunch.
Yeah, I just feel like he's kind of right now the heart and soul of defense. He's mean. He's going to go out there and like, let the dog out.
For sure.
And I love that.
He sets the tone.
For sure. I mean, crazy sets the tone. He also, we got, on our defensive end, forgetting his name right now. The two defensive ends we have, Khalil Mack, who's hurt.
Yeah, are you talking about Bosa?
Yeah, Bosa.
I think Tuilailota or something like that. Oh my God, what a steal did we snag with a player?
Yeah, he looks
I butchered
good.
that. Apologies. I know you're listening out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it right next time.
The Hawaiian names are tough. But the DNs, they're the same.
Yeah.
Besides the rookie that we brought in, or whoever that guy is. We draft him.
Tui?
Mm-hmm.
We drafted him, yeah.
Right.
He was a rookie last year.
Right.
And I think we snagged him in the second round. Stud.
I mean,
absolute
he looks great.
Animal.
I mean,
I think he's got
Mack.
7.5 sacks this year.
Great.
And he's working with Khalil Mack, and Khalil Mack's like, he's going to be one of the best, defensive linemen here in the next couple years.
So you can have a defense around Justin Herbert, and you can let Justin Herbert just go out and sling that thing however you want.
And thank God we're turning him loose a little bit. He's
running the rock.
It's like someone's listening to us out there.
Yeah, I said you gotta let this man turn the wheels on.
He's fooling on putting defenders on skates out there.
I told he is
just
surprisingly athletic.
Dude, so athletic and
For
just
running?
doing jump cuts.
Yeah.
And this man is like 6'6", 235 and motoring downhill.
Yeah, I mean, he's slower than Anthony Richardson, but I think he's similar weight and size to him.
Yeah.
And he has a crazy arm on the run.
Oh my God.
So not only do you have to worry about him running, he can absolutely sling the thing from any spot. So when he gets mobile like that, and you have some sort of running game around him, and we don't even have a great wide receiver core.
No, I was going to actually give a shout out to Quentin Johnston right now.
Quentin Johnston's playing out of his mind.
Playing great. Thank God we needed that because we burned a first round pick on a wide receiver that just can't even catch a football. Really brutal. Really
I'm really
brutal.
glad we didn't, burn everything down with him because he was a rookie last year. And it could have been, who knows what could have been going on with that coaching staff and him.
Yeah, and historically, honestly, receivers take 2 years out of college to fully get there. To close to their potential or to blossom. It's rare. I mean, you get guys that come out of college and they're just phenomenal athletes and really good route runners.
Neighbors.
And you got Malik Neighbors.
Those are guys those guys are, there's one a draft and you just got to nail it.
Right, exactly. And you kind of know that. They're going top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could have had that, but we decided to go to Joe Alt, which is great. I mean, Joe Alt's unbelievable.
Need to protect Justin Herbert.
Right. And Ladd McConkey is fantastic.
Real. He's
fantastic. I'm so glad that we didn't go and grab another big wide receiver. It's not like I'm just looking for height. I'm just so partial at times. You need a speedster. I was listening to NFL Live or a podcast. I don't remember, but there's 4 different types of receivers, and you need every single one of them to have an elite passing attack. It's the speedster that takes the top off the defense. Mm-hmm. You're really solid go-to one-on-one guy that can run a bunch of routes. He's your Justin Jefferson. You don't need that kind of guy, but somewhere close, maybe a T. Higgins or something like that. Mm-hmm. You can come in and do that. And then you need your zone guy where you can just win in zone coverages and short yardage. And then you kind of got your jump ball guy.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 that I've heard.
That makes sense. I think Quentin Johnston can, if he keeps developing the way he is and his size, he probably can be a T. Higgs. I think that'd be his ceiling.
Yeah.
He's really athletic and he's pretty big.
He's got to work on those hands a little bit. I want to see.
I mean, he's catching, from what I've seen, he's catching most of the balls.
He is. I mean, they're just uncontested. He's just wide open.
Yeah.
I love Ladd McConkey. I think it was a steal.
Ladd McConkey looks like a Julian
steal.
Edelman cutout prototype.
But can fly, though.
Yeah.
He's got some wheels under him.
I mean, he had a huge catch late in the Chargers
Oh.
game.
Just won us the game, basically.
Yeah. Caught the ball huge, and then JK just run the ball.
Steamrolling, dude.
Now, that's like old school Chargers right there. The Chargers from Phillip Rivers on would lost that game.
Bro, I thought we were going to Charger it. I really did. We were up 3 tutties, and I saw the Jaguars from a couple years ago just flash before my eyes in the playoffs. And
Right.
same thing. Katie's over there. We're watching the game together, and I'm like, oh no, I'm starting to shit my pants a little bit. They score 1. I'm like, I'm losing faith. I feel the tides are turning.
Right.
And Katie's like, it's fine. It's fine. Shut up. That's what you said last time. Stop that.
Yeah, the momentum is huge in football, and you can kind of feel it when they hit that bomb.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God.
Like, oh no, we're in trouble.
Joe Burrow just found it.
Right.
And Joe Burrow right now is like the second, third best quarterback statistically right now in the NFL.
I was going to ask you. Let's finish up the Bengals thought here because that was a clutch game. Must win because the 4 that we were in the pecking order here down in our upcoming schedule, one of them is the Bengals and one of them is the Falcons. Got to win one of those 2 or both.
I think you got to try and win both.
Right.
Because the Chiefs is going to be tough.
And the Ravens.
And the Ravens are going to be tough.
Exactly. The one thing that we have working well for us against the Ravens, because I'm really looking forward to that Monday night game. I mean, I am chomping at the bit. I cannot wait, especially after a win from the Bengals and what we were able to close that out. I agree. I think that was also the talk of like Sports Center. Like Chargers are back. Like you can feel the like rallying of the troops. Tides are turning because normally we would just like fumble that game. So anyways, I thought that was solid. And I don't know. I think we might match up really well with the Ravens because we have an elite secondary and defense right now. We can cause some pressure on Lamar. And we've got some like really quick, really fast guys that can fly sideline to sideline and I mean, you can't contain Lamar, but at least keep him at bay a little bit. And they have a leaky defense. So if we like hold them to 20-ish points, 22, 24, somewhere in there, and we can put up a 30 piece. I mean, I like our chances, you know?
Yeah, my only concern is the Baltimore size.
Baltimore is massive, dude.
They're big boys.
Yeah, they are big.
Chargers aren't as stacked like size-wise right now. Especially on like the defensive side. I feel like we got a lot of smaller guys who like to boomstick. Yeah. And tackling that running back, Derrick Henry in the backfield might be an issue.
They play a different style of football over there on the East Coast, huh?
Yeah, but the boys are big. It's like the boys in the South, you know, the SEC and the East Coast, they just like their big boys.
Philly's also just massive on the offensive line, too.
They're huge.
And that's another team that's just so dangerous. You got Saquon Barkley. That's just
unreal.
Ripping up the league.
I mean, what was New York thinking? I mean, we talked about it.
Talked about it on the last pod. I mean, we can segue. Okay, actually, before we do that, I wanted to ask, where do you see Justin Herbert being ranked right now as far as like the QB pecking list? Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Okay.
Joey Burrow.
Okay.
I'm forgetting the Baltimore. Lamar.
What about like I don't know, CJ Stroud or a...
CJ's probably better than them right now.
You think so? Then Justin? Damn, I'm putting like Justin at like 3 or 4.
I mean, it's tough because like pure talent. Yeah, I would say Justin's got all tangibles.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
But like proven track record.
Not statistically. I'm just saying like if you were to make one team and you can like make a pretty solid offense, what's the guy? What are like the top 3, 4, 5, 6 options that you can like build
Justin
a team
Herbert's
around?
up there.
Okay. That's kind of what I was more going for. Not like statistically, I'm just saying like an analysis. If
Which
you were to like
happen this year.
If you were to like hand pick or pluck someone, I think his draft stock has significantly raised this year, man. It needed
to happen this year though. It needed to happen this year or next year. He couldn't have like another couple more mediocre years that he was having. I mean, even though I don't think Harbaugh would have ever gotten rid of him because Harbaugh is just in love with him.
Yeah. I mean, was there not? He's got the most passing yards and like completions in like the first 4 or 5 years of anyone's career. He holds all those records.
He's baller. I mean, I have no doubt that he will be whatever he wants to be in that sense because I've have been a Justin fan from Oregon, but my concern was his talents being shown properly?
Yeah.
Which is what I've always thought is he's a very mobile quarterback, and you need to have Justin be mobile. Now he should have slid when he fumbled that ball and try to take that hit. I love the aggression. I love that he wants to do that. You're not Anthony Richardson, and you're not Josh Allen. You're a little bit more fragile than that, even though you're a bigger boy. He needs to slide.
You're super tough, but just go down, bro.
Just need to slide.
Like, we want you to have the legs for the entire season. We need that arm. We need that cannon.
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like Josh Allen has the legs and the arm are pretty equal for him.
Yeah.
Actually, Anthony Richardson's arms like just a lethal weapon that just
Josh Allen, I hear you. Is not, if you take away the legs, not the same player. If you take away some of the legs from Herbert, it's like it's not that big of a loss. Like,
right. His arm is so much better than his legs that like it's an add-on. Like Josh Allen, I think his arm's incredible, and I think if you take away his running ability, he'd still be fine. But like what I think makes Josh crazy is that he can also run the rock, and Anthony Richardson can run the ball. And he has a crazy arm, but like you take away his legs, he's not the same guy.
Yeah.
I feel like if you, like you were saying, you take away Justin's legs, just give him that arm.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Tom Brady in the pocket, baby.
Truly. He can sling it. I mean,
it's being a little extreme, but
I mean, he keeps going with this right coach, and the Chargers can draft probably some decent, maybe a couple more linemen, maybe bolster the defense more, maybe grab a running back if you can.
Yeah.
And trade and pick up an elite wide receiver. I'm talking option number uno. And you have Quentin Johnston, young, and then you have Ladd McConkey, young.
That was a weird sound. I didn't like that.
I didn't either.
I think it was a security thing.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Okay. Thank God.
I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, and then you got Ladd McConkey as like the 2 and Quentin Johnson as the 3 for the deep threat.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know, was a 2 a slot?
Yeah.
Typically? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then Quentin would be a 3. I would say Quentin would be a great T Hilt. Because I don't think T Hilton's a slot.
Who's T Hilton?
Who's the opposite wide receiver from Cincy?
Oh, T Higgins.
T Higgins, sorry.
My bad. I should have known. We were talking about them all. I thought that's why you were referring to someone else.
No, I was like I was thinking
T Higgins would be unbelievable. He's on the franchise tag this year, and I'm wondering how much he's going to be asking for. I know we've got some cap space. I don't know what the dealio is with our draft picks.
Wait, is he a slot or is he just a number 2?
He's a number 1. T Higgins would be a number 1.
Right, but
currently?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like interchangeable over there.
That's what I'm saying. I would love for Quentin to be that type of style.
I see.
Where he's like interchangeable and not just because I think he's more than just a deep threat guy. I think he can be very versatile and he's extremely athletic. So I don't know for a fact, but would love to be the case,
Yeah.
But a little football talk there. USC sucks. We don't need to talk more about them.
They're so bad. I'm sorry.
It's tough.
It's tough for me too. I mean, I was hopping on and I had high hopes and I was ready to cheer on the boys.
Then you hopped right off.
No, I watched a game.
Good.
We forgot who they were playing. They were like
Nebraska.
Yeah, I watched that game.
And we got the dub there. But moving on from that, like, I mean, there's some NCAA. Forget the waiver wire. It's been a long week. I just came back from traveling for 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
I've got training at like 7 a.m. for the new job here.
Yeah.
So my brain is nowhere near firing.
No, you're learning about people like breaking and stubbing toes in gyms and what legal actions. Your mind's all up.
I'm a little mushy in the brain part right now.
Minimal yawns though.
I'm trying my best. I think I just can't relax. If I lay back and I'm talking to you, I'm like, I'm talking to my buddy. I'm hanging out.
I got a little fuzzy thing next to my mouth.
I'm just like, I'm used to having things in my mouth that make me sleepy. But yeah, I just want to see if I have anything written down. Ooh, we got a text from David saying we can book our Airbnb for the Ryder Cup.
Love that.
That's coming.
I cannot believe that's already like right around the corner. It's wild. Let's see. We were segueing over to Daniel Jones and the Giants.
Yeah,
eventually.
It's just crazy. Daniel Jones is being benched, which duh.
Do you hear the reasoning why?
Did not hear the reasoning.
There were not really reasoning why, but speculation as to why he was getting benched is because he's got a $23 million guarantee next year if he gets hurt at any given point. So because they are not being very successful and they want to move on from him, they are benching him so he doesn't get hurt. And he has to get paid more money. That's maybe the theory.
That's not a bad theory. I mean,
I didn't make it up. I just saw it, and so I was like, "Oh, that's actually kind of smart." Because the Giants are 2-8.
Yeah, they suck.
They're terrible.
Their GM made an awful decision. They got rid of I was talking over the weekend with some like fanatic Philly fans.
Yeah.
About Saquon.
When you were over in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice, great. Give it to us.
Just the amount of they're all shitting on New York. Like, how do you? And we've talked about it too. I don't understand how you let go of a all-star in a position. I feel like a good quarterback is a lot more common than an unreal running back.
Mm-hmm. It's not like Saquon was asking for $20 million a year.
No, he was asking for very average running back numbers.
13, 12. I don't know what CMC makes. 17.
I mean, CMC could probably go whatever the fuck he wants.
15. I don't think it's actually that outrageous because the running back price and like stock market has essentially just plummeted over the last few years because all the statistics and analysts and blah blah blah. It's just like, okay, yeah, but that applies to like the bulk of everyone. When you got Saquon Barkley asking for a contract extension at the age of like 25, 26, like you give the man 3 years and you give him $40 million. What's wrong with that?
And he comes out and he looks like the way he's looking on the Eagles, jumping over people backwards.
I mean, look at Joe Mixon right now as well over at the Houston Texans. He looks unbelievable. Looks really solid.
I think as a running back, it's proven more that you need to be on the right team and have a good scheme around you in order to shine.
Totally.
As a running back, I don't think you can go onto a shit team and kind of carry him through. Quarterback can change a whole program around. I don't know if a running back can.
And that's the whole thing. That's why they don't want to pay him top dollar because then you can get a good young athlete that you can just pay from a first or a second round pick and you can pay him.
Wide receiver can't do it either. Like Malik Neighbors can't turn around the Giants.
No.
And
certainly not.
He looks unreal.
Yeah.
So it's like just a quarterback position. But if you get an okay quarterback like Sam Darnold, like he should have a job next year.
Totally.
Especially after last game, having a couple rough ones, coming out and balling out the way he did this last game. It just seems like I don't understand why you would sacrifice a player that's been on your team, a consistent staple, and you go, not going to pay him. I'm going to pay this quarterback who hasn't proven shit.
He's also just so injury prone as well.
Like hasn't done anything besides we like him and we drafted him.
Right.
And that's great. But quarterback is very much like, what have you done? Very much in the NFL, the quarterback isn't, immune to that.
What have you done with what you have is huge.
And they were saying he didn't have very much. Well, it's like, yeah, some quarterbacks don't. Tom Brady didn't have very much wide receiver help.
Right.
I mean, there's been some moments where he's had crazy help. when Gronk was fully going, but like he had Gronk and Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman wasn't in that time considered a crazy talent.
No. I honestly can't really name more than like 3 to 5 receivers. It's bad on me, but like it just sounded like every single person that played on the Patriots, you'd catch a pass,
Amendola,
and I'd be like, "Who's that?"
Right.
I'm like,
and
"What?"
he would just pop off that 1 or 2 seasons.
So is it scheme based? Is it really come down to the coaching?
It's got to be a little bit of both, but it's
gotta
also like the quarterback, because I bet they change a lot on the line. A good quarterback changes a lot on the line based on what they see and what they come out on.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of the coach will give a set play, an idea of what the play is. Then the quarterback gets to the line. Hopefully the play still lines up perfectly for what you're looking for. Then it's up to the quarterback to like maybe add the coverage, shift the coverage a certain way, move the line. Like, hey, we're stacked on the left. We need to like help out on the left and motion somebody over and change some routes around in order to make the play, the scheme idea work. And that's not going to happen unless you have an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
Who can do those certain things. But like a wide receiver in that type of offense still needs to like, work out. I mean, it's just, coaching matters a lot in those moments, but an elite quarterback can make anyone kind of look good.
I would love,
as long as they can catch the ball.
You know what would be an unbelievable idea for a podcast is that like Tom Brady needs to like come out with a podcast like JJ Redick did with LeBron James. And I would eat that up.
Yeah, he needs to come out and start flexing a bit about his knowledge of the game a bit more, because broadcasting, he does a great job, but it's Tony Romo does a really good job of like quickly analyzing it. I feel like I want to hear Tom Brady talk.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't have to be Tom Brady. It could be Tony Romo. It could be Peyton Manning. It could be great. It could be any sort of quarterback that it's been semi-recent or relevant, and run a podcast with whoever ex-player or current player and just dive into some serious X's and O's. And and just have a format. It's a 20-program series where you're first starting out with just like basic lineups, formations, what's going to be effective, understanding coverage, where your checkdowns are, progressions, hot routes, all that kind of stuff. I would love to hear all of that. And conversely, I would love to hear that on the defense side of the ball too. That'd be fun.
An elite quarterback, and you go with like Darrelle Revis-esque type of defensive player.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
And have them talk X's and O's.
So you bounce back. You get the defensive side and you get the offensive side.
Yeah, that's why I think JJ Redick podcast worked out so well with LeBron when they were doing it. Because LeBron's like a perennial all-star talent that's only going to come around once a decade, and JJ was like a workhorse role player. So even though they both saw the game very similarly, they both have very different attributes in the way they handle the game. Mm-hmm. So a quarterback and a safety both have such a high understanding of defense and offense, but both tackle the game very differently. It'd be interesting to hear.
It'd be fun. I mean, I really hope something's cooking for that. That'd be all time.
That'd be a great one. UFC fights happened
big
this weekend.
Ones, dude. Big ones.
John Jones, I think, looked good. I think he is ducking a man called Aspinall. I'm going to say that. Not very confident. An English guy who's the current heavyweight, or was the current heavyweight champion. I think he was an interim or something like that.
Okay. Was John Jones kind of dodging him a little bit?
Yeah, he
has been.
I mean, that's what it seems like. He's saying he's not, because Aspinall hasn't been proven. He says he's not a
interesting.
The guy he just fought this weekend was one of the best heavyweights of all time. Yeah, and he's been kind of waiting for that fight, I guess, for a while. That Stipe Miocic fight, was supposed to be happening a while ago, and John came out, looked chunky, and got caught by a couple shots. I didn't think he looked unbeatable. I thought there was a couple times where he was going in on Miocic, and he could have got caught. Mm-hmm. And then just came out and started to pick him apart a little bit.
I thought John Jones looked really good.
Yeah,
for not fighting for a while. I mean, his striking is just unbelievable. I actually haven't really watched much of him. That was the first time I've like sat down and watched a fight live of John Jones.
You gotta watch him at light heavyweight.
Yeah, I've seen highlights. I know what he's capable of doing.
Right.
I just haven't watched him just live.
Yeah, he's unreal. Like he's getting trained by like an elite #1 Gordon Ryan, #2 you can argue in the world Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy right now.
Yeah.
So he's like already black belt, I think, on the ground, but now he's getting trained by like maybe the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy in the world right now.
Damn.
And elite striking, and he's mean.
He just looks
gonna be a hard combo to stop.
Yeah, he just looks so long and so physical and so strong. Dude, his elbows, man. You cannot pay me money. I mean, it's got to be, maybe dumb money. I can be bought. I'm not going to lie. But
yeah.
I do not want to see one of those elbows bro.
You really don't want to get in the cage with John Jones.
No.
He can really, really fuck your day up and like really change the course of your life.
Yeah, dude.
You're going to have a quick, like, you can't hit me with he'll knock me out cold. But the worry would be,
am I waking up?
Right. Am I going to hit the head, in my back of my head on the mat? Which could definitely happen because I'm going to go stiff as a board.
I might
and
not
will
even...
he give me a couple on the way down? Like if I'm down
sure.
and am I out? Like is he going to give me a couple extra? Because that's where...
I think he knows who we're going against. He's like going to be some chump and like, what's going to take one punch here? And that's going to be lights out. See ya. Yeah, I'm worried about being able to chew food ever again. My jaw is going to be in shambles after a punch or a kick.
Yeah, man, he
looks good. I know. Like Miocic is like 42, and then he retired. He said his like adios sayonara, and he was a little bit out of his prime, but still, he was still ranked like 8, I think, in the world.
And he's no slouch.
No, and then
but
John Jones just like walked in there and just kind of wiped the floor with him a little bit. Got caught a couple times. But he is a little slippery. I want to see John Jones maybe just drop another like 10 because he did look like a little bit of a half step slow potentially.
Slow. I mean, he's going to fight heavyweight. He's not going to go back down to light. The next fight that he says he wants to do is Alex Pereira at heavyweight. I don't think Alex Pereira stands a chance.
No, because doesn't Pereira like his light heavyweight is his division?
I think he may even be lighter than that.
Middleweight?
Yeah,
he came down for Adesanya.
Okay, so light heavyweight might be his natural weight, but the weight isn't the issue because the power of his left will always be there, so there's always a chance he cracks John. But John knows distances, and he's not going to let Pereira just like back him into certain things. He always does that hand in that guy's face thing where he does it so well, where he understands like where the guy's at all times. And also John's just going to take him to the ground. You
think so?
He's just so much stronger than he's going to be. And Pereira is an awful no background in like that type of level of jiu-jitsu.
I would love to see that fight. That would be unbelievable.
Yeah.
How old is Pereira now? Is he like 36?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's probably mid to early 30s.
Oh, you think he's early 30s?
Mid to early. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the Pereira fight's going to happen after watching John fight, this last one. I don't think he wants to fight Aspinall, so I don't know when he's going to fight again.
He hinted at something. I don't know what it was.
It's the Pereira fight that everyone's saying that's going to happen, but I guess Dana White came after and said there's no way I'm like going to let Alex Pereira fight him.
Why? Why is that?
Just because I don't think for his division he's in, he's great because he's super strong. Well, he's not going to be stronger than John Jones.
Right.
John can knock him out just as easily as Pereira can knock him out. Like, I don't know if the same chin travels to heavyweight.
See, I don't understand. I mean, I kind of understand it, but at the same time, like if Pereira wants to fight him, and they're both like mutual, why not? Why won't
try and protect your assets? Because then maybe Pereira goes in there, fights John Jones. John makes him look stupid.
Yeah,
and then everyone's like, "Well, Pereira's not as good as we all thought he was."
I get that.
And Pereira
Yeah.
then loses out on a certain level of like pay-per-views. And then he's got to beat up a couple guys that are like worse than him.
Yeah, but can't you always fall back on the fact that it's just like not his go-to weight class and he's like had to put on 30 pounds?
Sure, if we're speaking in logic.
I mean, that's just, I mean, that's how I would like look at it. But I don't know. You know, you just would, I guess maybe to some people it would just be like, oh, well, Pereira just lost to John Jones, and John Jones is the undisputed, no doubt, best fighter of all time.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of whoever he fights next, I think he will be having that. And he's 29-1. He's going to be 30-0. I guess they're taking away the loss he had because of the elbows.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh.
Because 12-6 elbows is how he knocked the guy out.
Oh, it's illegal now.
And 12-6 elbows are legal now. So I guess from past when people lose to fights, when they've knocked the guy out and then the judge calls it a different way because if it was illegal at the time, they wipe the wins usually.
Interesting.
Yeah, or wipe the losses and they keep the win for the other guy.
Interesting. Okay.
So he'll be 30-0 or 29-0.
I was wondering what his loss was because I didn't know.
Some random guy he knocked out cold with 12-6 elbows and they called it.
That's me. I'd be KO'd.
Yeah, I mean,
Do
the
not
man
want
was
to see
like,
that.
it was crazy. But
Might as well just be Thor's hammer he's dropping on you, dude. It looks vicious. It looks vicious.
He's gonna cut you. He's gonna make you bleed. He's gonna poke you in the eye, which is part of what he does with that hand thing. Is you're always worried about fingers going to your eyes and stuff like that because you know he's so long you can't get in. But yeah, man.
Did you catch that snooze fest on Friday night?
The boxing match, which I mean,
dude.
good for them, man. Just collect money and move on. I'm glad they didn't make anyone pay for it unless you already had Netflix or not. But
yeah, that was.
I mean,
nice.
that's speaking of snooze fest. I mean, yeah, he's. It's just tough to like watch Mike Tyson look that way. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, like, you know, is rigged or not rigged? Who cares? It was never going to be a real fight." Jake Paul should fight a celebrity who actually wants to box. He's got to stop with these people who are out of their primes or no longer.
Who has he actually fought?
He fought Tommy Fury's brother, who boxes. He's a professional boxer. He lost in decision.
Who? Who did?
Jake Paul.
Okay. Oh, that's his one loss? Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's his like first legit, that's like probably his only legitimate fight that he's had.
Then he fought another real fighter, amateur guy, up and coming amateur, beat the shit out of him, knocked him out.
Okay.
He's a legitimate boxer. I think people are maybe sleeping on him a little bit.
Yeah.
I think this might have been his last money grab attempt, and then he either goes two ways. He fights people who actually can fight. So some are saying there's like I'm forgetting his name right now because my brain's like a little moosh pea. He's a
I don't know any
right wing.
I don't know any boxers, so you're on an island.
He's a celebrity, Instagram celebrity, right wing. Andrew Tate. He's gonna try to fight Andrew Tate. Was the next like fight, and Andrew Tate was at one point was a professional kickboxer.
Okay.
So
is that the guy that's like the health kick guy?
No, he has like bald head, and he's like a heavy right wing social media guy.
Okay.
And
so he's gonna go after him maybe, and then
him,
and then do
Canelo has been another call out.
Wow. Okay.
KSI, another call out who's beating Jake Paul. Or he needs to go like legitimate and go like actually fight real fighters multiple times.
I just want to see him actually fight boxers. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, man.
I wasn't a fan of it. I mean, obviously I watched it because I wanted to see like, it's kind of epic just seeing like Tyson get back in the ring.
I never watched Tyson fight, so it'd be cool to say, you saw him once.
Yeah.
And in the first round, there was a couple punches I thought he got Jake with.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he's going to knock him the fuck out.
Yeah. Well, and there was so much hype around this thing where he's actually looking like semi-decent in the trainings. I'm just like, oh, he's kind of like still got it a little bit. Obviously, 58. He's just not in fighting shape. He's not 25 or 35 anymore, Mm-hmm. You're going to get a little tired, don't have the legs that you do. But still, he
looked wobbly.
He showed some flashes, though.
Yeah. Hit him a couple times where he looked like Jake got rocked within the first round or something. But it was boring.
Yeah. Did you see the fight beforehand though?
I didn't watch. I hear that was the best fight of the night though.
Oh my God, bro.
I heard that fight was crazy.
10 or 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds. And it was some sort of like, I forget the math, but it was like, I know roughly how many punches were landed.
I heard they were just throwing.
Throwing, bro.
Yeah.
36 minutes of fighting. Guess roughly how many punches landed?
52.
In total.
Oh.
Not like per round, but like in total. So 36. So there's 12 rounds, 3 minutes of fighting per round. So 36 minutes of fighting.
Maybe like 400?
600 punches.
Wow.
Bro, we gotta throw on like some highlights after this. It was
just crazy.
They never separated further than like 3-4 feet of one another, and were just throwing the entire time. They were machines. It was I've never seen. It was almost to the point I was like, this is looking barbaric. No one should get punched this many times. It looked bad.
Heard some girl's eye was just like,
dude, eyelid flopped over her eye basically.
That shit's so gross.
That's where I'm just like, oh, I can't. No.
You got Badussi on your face, lady.
Dude,
You got a new Badussi on your face.
so bad.
It's so bad.
Oh, man. But that was the most entertaining fight of the night. And then the Tyson and Jake Paul fight came on afterwards. I'm like, oh, my
Even
God.
the walkouts were shitty.
Terrible.
The car, awful. All the juice from the car, like, coming out to, like, the song that Mike Tyson kind of, like...
Yeah, did for his like the Hangover. I was like, what are we trying to mock him right now?
And Mike Tyson came out by himself. Like, I don't know. The walkouts, I'm like, you guys, this is the best you could have done. Like, I'm
awful.
Like, we couldn't have done better with the walkouts. But hey, good for Jake. I hope he fights people who are like a little bit more legitimate now. But yeah,
dude, the show's over. If you're just gonna be the number one YouTuber guy on the map for boxing, like let's actually see.
Now it's time.
Let's see some fights.
I feel like you've gotten all the juice you can out of these celebrities who can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
Or like Nate Robinson, like all these guys that you've beaten the fuck out of. Who?
Wait, he fought Nate Robinson?
Not Nate Robinson.
I was thinking of the short basketball player, like the 5'7".
Yeah, Nate Robinson.
Really?
Yeah, he fought Nate and knocked him out. That's like how it started. Fought
Jesus,
Nate, knocked him out.
Well, Jake Paul's like 6'2".
Right. But it was like when he was younger.
Okay.
And he's still 6'2", but he wasn't big. He was like pretty small.
Yeah.
Then he fought another YouTuber, knocked him out. Like, fought a couple more times with other people.
Well,
good fights. Then he fought the real boxers and beat one, then lost to another one.
Okay.
I mean, he probably made $50 million on that pay-per-view with Netflix.
On the fight?
Yeah, 50 million.
I heard 30.
Yeah.
And then Tyson got 20.
Yeah, I mean, that's good for them.
That's great. It's unreal.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a, I mean, no, he lives in Puerto Rico, so no taxes, basically. Yeah,
it's nice.
Good for him. Well, buddy, you got anything for the people here?
Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up. We forgot to tell you guys, like, comment, subscribe. We should have done it at the beginning of the episode, but I forget because I do the intro.
Maybe that's my job.
Maybe that is your job.
Yeah. I don't even say hi. I just say like or get out of here.
Ooh. A little aggressive. Like or don't be here at all. Well, like, comment, subscribe, because we're in the cabbage.
Just kidding. We love you.
Hey, we're here.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere. And just a reminder, keep swinging.